What's happening, Who Dat Nation? Before we get into the latest free agency rumors and trade rumors that we have to discuss at the end of the video, I want to remind all of you to subscribe and join the channel. We've picked up over 300 subs in the past week. I want to keep the momentum going. I want to keep this thing rolling, and I want the entire Who Dat Nation to go down, hit the big red subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, type me in the comment section. But let's talk free agency rumors. So Bleacher Report recently put out an article suggesting every team's realistic dream signing in 2023 NFL free agency. And Bleacher Report suggested Parris Campbell, the wide receiver who was with the Colts last season. The Saints have their quarterback one for the next few seasons. You would see a quarterback in this list for the Saints. However, they did sign Derek Carr. You know that, though, unless you've been living under a rock. You do, however, have to surround Derek Carr with tools for him to succeed. You can't bring in a big quarterback and then just expect him to be able to pick it up and not have any tools around him. I mean, look what happened whenever he was with the Raiders, whenever he didn't have quality receivers, but they bring in Devontae Adams. He's able to have a better wide receiver one, but then you guys have guys like Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, and Mac Hollins as well contributing to success. But I think that Parris Campbell could contribute to Derek Carr's success in New Orleans because you have a lot of guys leaving in free agency. As we all know, Michael Thomas, he had his contract restructured earlier in the offseason to clear up some cap money. If the Saints decide to move on from him, it's going to be see you later, can't guard Mike. However, there is buzz about him possibly returning. If you missed out on that, we discussed it in yesterday's video. I'll have the link in the comment section and description of this video. Chris Olave, Marquez Callaway is going to be a free agent. Jarvis Landry is a free agent. And then you also have Deontay Hardy, your kick return and speedster that honestly was replaced by Rashid Shaheed. So you have those guys leaving, but Parris Campbell could be a guy to bring in for the New Orleans Saints. I think that they bring back Marquez Callaway. I think that Parris Campbell, though, could be a solid wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 with some upside. But that being said, when you look at his stats this past season, 63 receptions, 623 yards, 3 touchdowns, and just under 10 yards per catch. And injuries have been concerning across Parris Campbell's career. Just in his NFL career, he's dealt with foot injuries, knee injuries, concussions, abdomen issues, ankle issues. He's injury prone, but I will say this, there's the caveat. He played a full season in 2022 with the Indianapolis Colts. So with that being said, like I said earlier, I think that Campbell could be a solid wide receiver 3/wide receiver 2, depending on what happens with the Michael Thomas situation. If they bring back Marquez Callaway. Obviously, Chris Olave is going to be your number one go-to guy if you don't bring back Michael Thomas. Even then, you have Michael Thomas, Chris Olave as your 1-2. I think that Marquez Callaway, Parris Campbell could be a solid wide receiver 3-4 split. Then you also have your slot guy, whoever that could possibly be, if you bring back Jarvis or whoever you run it with. That being said, another name to keep an eye out, and this came in early this morning, or not even early, this came in about an hour and a half ago, and that's why we wanted to include him. Adam Schefter reports that there's a real possibility that the Vikings and Adam Thielen will be parting ways in coming days, allowing the 2-time Pro Bowl wide receiver to become a free agent per sources. The two sides will talk in coming days, but his time in Minnesota could be coming to an end. And Adam Thielen, he's been the kryptonite for the New Orleans Saints against the Vikings, especially in the postseason. Last year, he had 70 receptions, 716 yards, 6 touchdowns, and a long of 36 yards. And this is better than what Parris Campbell was able to do. So I think it's an interesting option for the Saints to bring in. The news just came in, so we wanted to be able to include him in today's video. But I want to ask y'all this. Who Dat Nation, sound off in the comments for me. What say you? Should the Saints sign Parris Campbell? Type S for sign. Type P for pass if you don't want him. And if you type P for pass, let me know. Do you want an Adam Thielen? Do you want another free agent wide receiver like a Jacoby Myers or a Juju Smith-Schuster? Take advantage of the ad break you might get hit with, and let me know in the comment section, should the Saints sign Parris Campbell? All right, now let's talk about some tight ends, and this might be a sore subject for some of you guys because Juwan Johnson is a free agent. Taking a look at the Saints depth chart, this is what you got. Juwan Johnson, Adam Trautman, Taysom Hill. And obviously Taysom Hill, you could kind of put an asterisk next to his name, not for the free agent aspect, but because he's more so of a Swiss Army knife. We've seen what the Saints implement him as a quarterback tool. Even when they said we're going to be shifting his focus from more quarterback snaps to more tight end snaps, even that being the case, he still took a lot of quarterback snaps. He still did a lot of work behind the center as running the ball, throwing the ball, and a little bit of catching the ball, but not as much. So if you want to go get a new tight end, these are four guys that are pretty interesting that I kind of like as options. Mike Gesicki. Saints were linked to him as a possible target last offseason. Dalton Schultz, the Cowboys moving on more than likely. Austin Hooper out of Tennessee. And then Foster Moreau. This is a name that I actually think is pretty interesting considering he was with the Raiders last season. I'm going to break down these stats and more of my thoughts on this. But before I get to that, a just very quick reminder, we are on a race to 15,000 subscribers with Broncos Breakdown and Vikings Now. We are right in the middle of them. 11,885 subs. We're smoking Patrick Seatman and Vikings Now, but let's catch up to Matthew Peterson, the Broncos Breakdown. They're about 500, 600 subs, quick napkin math off the top of my head. I went to Arkansas. I don't know math. I'm talking football. Go down, subscribe today. But let's get back to the tight end discussion. Mike Gesicki this past season, 32 receptions, 362 yards, 5 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz, 57 receptions, 577 yards, 5 touchdowns. Austin Hooper with the Tennessee Titans, 41 receptions, 444 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then Foster Moreau, the former Las Vegas Raiders, obviously had to split reps with Darren Waller. Darren Waller had some injury issues, so Foster Moreau, the former LSU Tiger, could you bring him back to the boot? Would be pretty interesting. 33 receptions, 420 yards, nice, and 2 touchdowns. But I want to emphasize, you have to bring back Juwan Johnson. He is Mr. Reliable. Over half of his receptions were first downs or touchdowns. They are meaningful catches. They are meaningful plays, and he does nothing but become the most clutch and most reliable guy you have as a pass catcher on the Saints roster. He is a dog, and my take on it as a whole, you go get a new tight end too, but you still bring back Juwan Johnson. I think you can go get a guy in the draft later make it like not a low priority, but go get a late day 2, late day 3, or early day 3 pick on a tight end. Why not? I've seen some other tight end I've seen a mock draft that had Darnell Washington, the tight end from Georgia, going to the New Orleans Saints. I think these are options that are worth exploring, but I do think no matter what you have to do, you got to bring back Juwan Johnson, and you have to address that need because Juwan Johnson, you can't let him go anywhere else. Otherwise, you'll be paying the price. If you love Juwan Johnson, get down in the comment section. Type JJ for me. I'm going to be typing it, so I want you guys to be doing the same thing. And also, if you want a Juwan Johnson jersey or a Chris Olave jersey, Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan, Taysom Hill, Rashid Shaheed, Drew Brees, Derek Carr when they drop, we are going to have you covered. Chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. You can get hooked up with any Saints jersey that you want. It's all authentic. It's all Nike. No shiesties, no fugazis, no nonsense. Go get geared up for the next season at chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. I'm going to have that link in the comment section and in the description for you in today's video. Get geared up today. All right, I told you we were going to be talking some trade rumors, so let's talk trade rumors. Should the Saints go and trade for Allen Robinson? The Rams have already given Allen Robinson and his agents permission to seek a trade. As we know, the Rams, they're cutting bait. They're gutting the whole thing. They're trying to get rid of everybody. They already cut Bobby Wagner. They're trying to shop Allen Robinson. But I will say it's worth noting you should go explore this because LA is willing to pay a portion of Robinson's $15.25 million guaranteed salary. And that makes things juicy. And what I will say, I know a lot of y'all are going to be in the comment section before I even get to the stats, before I even share any more thoughts on this. You're going to say, Trace, he was dog water last year. He wasn't good. He got hurt. He didn't even play the whole season. All right, to be fair, he wasn't that good last year. But nothing about the Los Angeles Rams was good. Nothing about that team was good. Baker Mayfield coming in towards the end of the season was the best thing that happened for the Los Angeles Rams offense. But when you take a look at Allen Robinson's last 4 years, you can see he is a solid pass catcher. 2020 and 2021. Numbers were a little bit down due to injuries. He had that I believe it was a foot injury this past season. That being said, 2020 and 2019 when he was with Chicago, 102 receptions, 1,250 yards, 6 touchdowns, 12.3 yards per catch. And then in 2019, just under 100 catches, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 11.7 yards per catch. I think that the best thing you can go do is if you can get Allen Robinson's numbers low, if you can get that cap number to be affordable and to be team-friendly and to say, hey, you want the opportunity to make things work, you want to take a step and show I'm still that guy, I think that it might be worth it. I think that Robinson might be worth a trade. But if you don't want to go and hit the trade market, there are some free agents that you can go and sign. And we've talked about a handful of these guys before. Odell Beckham Jr., he didn't play in 2022. He's the top free agent wide receiver. There's no question about it. Juju Smith-Schuster, the Super Bowl champion, could be moved. Jacoby Myers, he also could be moved. Michael Thomas, we have an asterisk next to him because the assumption originally was that he would be cut and become a free agent. Right now, we do not know what the actual plan is around Michael Thomas. We wanted to include him on this list just so that way you could see how talented and how, I don't want to say deep this wide receiver class is, but there's just not a ton of super appealing talent. But Michael Thomas, if he hits the free agent market, should and could be a high free agent target to go with. That will be sought after by a lot of teams. DJ Chark, the former LSU Tiger, I actually really like him as an option. Mecole Hardman could be an option. Allen Lazard, we've talked about him to a great extent. Big body pass catcher. I think he's my number one free agent wide receiver target I'd like to go get. Or DJ Chark. Parris Campbell, we talked about him off the top of the show. Julio Jones, he's pretty old. I don't really want nothing to do with him. Jarvis Landry will be hitting the free agent market more than likely. The Saints have not expressed any plans of bringing him back as of right now. That being said, I wouldn't mind bringing Jarvis back. Come back on a vet minimum deal. Finish out your career at home and do what you got to do to be a good veteran leader for the Saints. But, guys, I want you to go down in the comment section and let me know. Name a wide receiver that you want the Saints to add, whether it's signing in free agency, you go and trade for him, or you go draft him. So if you have any wide receiver you want the Saints to bring in this offseason, let me know in the comment section. And also, I would love for every single one of you to hit me up on Twitter and Instagram. It's at TraceGerard48 on both. I made it easy for you. I'm always down to talk ball, chop it up, and hang out. And, I'm trying to get into the bigger social media game, so help me out. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Don't forget to subscribe. Who Dat Nation. Y'all stay golden. We'll catch you next time.